It's the Kangaroo Coaches Corner here on Chuck FM. Brent Baker here. Believe it or not, it's week 9 of the high school football season. When we come back after this message from Mike's Westside Rental, we'll talk to Billy Mathis about a big matchup Friday night against the Abilene Eagles at Shotwell Stadium.
We all know Mike's Westside Rental is the place to go for everything from digging to dancing. But don't let the name fool you. Mike's Westside Rental in Weatherford is pleased to announce that we are now an authorized full sales and service dealer for Echo power equipment and Skag zero-turn mowers. That's right, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws are all for sale at Mike's Westside Rental. Now you can own the best yard equipment on the market with the industry's best 5-year consumer warranty. And while you're at it, mow your lawn with the best zero-turn mowers available, Skag mowers. Skag is the #1 choice of professional landscapers, but they also build a great line of homeowner zero-turns as well, for lot sizes from 1 to 100 acres. Be sure to check us out online at mikesrental.com and like us on Facebook for deals and giveaways. Or just come in and see us at 449 Southwest Rick Williamson Highway. That's Mike's Westside Rental.
The Kangaroo Coaches Corner on Chuck FM. Brent Baker here in the studio with Coach Billy Mathis, head coach of the Weatherford Kangaroos. Coach, I appreciate your time again as we're getting close down to the wire on this season. Can you believe it's October, late October, and we just have a few games left? Let's talk about the Trinity game, a game where you guys hung tough in the first half, Coach, but their depth and their size and their athleticism, it looked to me like that kind of took over in the second half.
It did. I was very proud of the boys. We as a coaching staff were proud of the boys. We played hard. We played our tails off. Saturday morning, the boys came in, and they were bruised up and sore, and I explained to them, I said, men, this is the way football was played years and years ago. It was always like this. There wasn't a whole lot of shotgun stuff going around. This is old school football. As a matter of fact, this is the way you should feel after every Friday night game. But yeah, it was a tough test, and Trinity's a great football team. And
yes, they are.
They were huge and well coached, and they wore us down the second half. But I was very proud of the boys. I was proud of our effort. We did a lot of really good things. We went toe-to-toe with one of the, perennial powerhouses in the state.
The good news is you still have everything in front of you. You still have a shot to get into the postseason if you just take care of business, and I bet that's part of what you're preaching during the week.
Absolutely. We get to go up to historic Shotwell Stadium Friday night and go lay it all on the line. We win these next football games, we're in the playoffs. It's not there's no secret about it.
No help needed.
No help. We just need to go out and take care of us and go out there and win these football games. Go out there and do what we've been preparing for. We've been preparing for this since the end of last season. And our boys, they're up for the task. We've had great practices this week. Everybody's been flying around. It's right now, this is pretty much playoff football time. And the young men, they understand that. So it's exciting. It's nerve-wracking all in one. Of course, every week's nerve-wracking, but when you get to this time of the season, it is. It's got here fast, and been very proud. Proud of the men of how we've really come on this season, and a lot of the good things that we've done. There's still things that we need to fix, but that's any team.
Abilene on Friday night, as you mentioned, they're 5-3. They lost to Haltom last week, but everybody's lost to Haltom. So far, 28-14. Xavier Carrillo ran for 90 yards in the loss. What do the Eagles look like on film?
They look good. Their defense is as good as any defense that we faced already this year. They're very downhill attacking, very aggressive, very fast. Not as big as Trinity up front, but they're very well coached. They run a similar type of defense that Trinity runs. So, if there's a bonus, that's a positive for us. Offensively, they're going to get up there and they'll go from everything from double tight to 5 wide at times. So they're very multiple in what they do offensively. So, they're a well-coached football team. A lot like, when I talked about San Angelo, very hard-nosed West Texas style of football of what they play. Coach Cox does a great job out there in Abilene with them. So we've got to go. We've got to cut out some of our mistakes and just go out there and execute on offense and defense and special teams. And last week we did a lot better job on special teams. We still got to go out and take advantage of some of the miscues that the other teams make. It seems like when they bad snap over their head or fumble the ball, it seems to bounce right back up to them. But, that's just the way it goes. So Friday night, we just need to go out there. We need to play loose but focused and just go out there and just lay it all on the line. Every play for 4 quarters. It's pretty simple.
Billy Mathis, head coach of the Weatherford Kangaroos. I came up in the 80s, and, it was the Friday Night Lights era. It was Permian. It was what they used to call the Little Southwest Conference out there with some of the teams you already mentioned, and Abilene was one of those. What is it about those West Texas teams? There's kind of a mythical flavor to those teams out there when you get to Shotwell, and it just seems like that's a whole nother brand of football out there.
It is, from the teams that I've been a part of, that we've played all from West Texas. They've all been just hard-nosed football players, very blue-collar attitude. So, a lot of farms and ranch that go up, a lot of kids that are out there, working on this stuff, growing up. We've got hard-working, great kids too. But it's something that's a little bit different out there. I can't tell you exactly why, but it's true. And you talk to any coach in the state of Texas, there's always a difference when you go play a team from West Texas. And Abilene's no different. They're just tough kids that get out there and they don't do anything really tricky. They go out there and just play hard-nosed football, and they're going. There's a lot of tradition out in Abilene. So you see those teams that have this tradition. A lot like Trinity. There's something about them. San Angelo Central, even with San Angelo's quarterback going down, they're still winning. There's that mentality of we're going to go out and win because it's what we do. So
they expect it.
Expect it. They do.
Speaking of San Angelo Central, they're taking on LD Bell on Friday night. Haltom is at Richland on Friday night. What kind of things do you expect, besides the Kangaroos winning Friday night, what kind of things do you expect to shake out in this district? What are you looking for when you see the scores?
You would think Haltom would win. So, but you never know. You never know exactly what's going to happen each night because, there's 17, 18-year-old young men out there running around, and you never know which team's going to get off. It's kind of like Haltom beating Trinity.
Yeah.
Haltom went out there and jumped on them, and, I can't remember, they scored 49 points or whatever on Trinity, but they only scored 28 on Abilene. And if you were to put them out on paper, you would think, all right.
And y'all were tied in the fourth quarter.
We were tied in the fourth quarter with them, right? They beat us by 10. So I can't really compare, game to game, because different teams match up differently. But, you would expect the favorites to win this week. So
that would be Haltom over Richland and Central over Bell.
Central over Bell, yes, sir.
Yep.
So, and us go out and take, except for our game, I'm sure, there'll be people that
you'll never have all 3 favorites win.
No.
You gotta have one underdog win. Right. We know which one that'll be.
That's right.
Coach Billy Mathis, head coach of the Weatherford Kangaroos. How are the injuries?
We're good. Everybody's feeling good right now. Cooper Coffey's still out right now with a little bit of shoulder injury. But other than that, everybody's feeling good. So we got out last week. Really no injuries. A couple of little fingers here and there, but that's football, and that's just the way it is. And we don't count those as injuries.
No, that's just part of playing the game.
That's just part of playing the game, right? If your fingers and forearms aren't beat up, you're not out there getting it as hard as you should be.
When you played ball, you played at Aledo, you played for Coach Buck. Do you remember certain teams? We talk about the West Texas teams, the Abilene teams, Permian. Here you may have South Lake Carroll, Aledo. Who do you remember playing that you were like, ooh, man, we're going into Memorial Stadium taking on Stephenville? Or, man, who do you remember being kind of that mythical figure?
When I was a sophomore, I remember South Lake Carroll coming, and Dane Johnson was tailback for them. Chris Brown was their quarterback. Chris Brown went off the kick for Pittsburgh Steelers forever.
Wow.
He played quarterback for them, but, they had made that giant run, and, we watched video on them, and they were a machine. They were big, strong, and fast, and I just remember when they came Toledo, they had scored on the first play of every single game, or if they were returning the ball, it was they either returned for a touchdown or they scored on the first play of the game. And unfortunately, they did the exact same thing on us. But, Southlake was one, and at that time, and the football season 1995, Springtown was like that. Springtown was hard-nosed, tough.
Billy Reed, I believe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just hard-nosed football playing. They lined up in a wishbone. Southlake did the same thing, and they came at you 1,000 miles an hour. Another one at that time that I remember was Alvarado.
Really?
Dusty Renfro, went and played for the University of Texas, went and played in the NFL for years. He was over there. Alvarado was, tough as nails. Of course, growing up, you played Pee Wee and you played against a lot of these guys growing up. So we knew each other at times. So, it was fun. It was good, competitive, hard-nosed football. But I just remember Southlake and Springtown really being powerhouses in.
Southlake's still good. Springtown's good again. So it's kind of interesting to see that happen. It's still a 100-yard field. It's still 10 yards for a first down. Doesn't matter who you play against. It's still that. And looking forward to seeing the Kangaroos come and be victorious at Shotwell Friday night. Coach Mathis, thank you very much. We'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Kangaroo Coach's Corner on Chuck FM Radio.